Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening to us from. This is the Naija FC Podcast, where we bring you the hottest news, unfiltered opinions on everything surrounding Nigerian football. As always, I'm your host, AyoT, and I have with me my reliable co host.
Smith Layi.
Yes, Smith Layi, lots to cover, so let us get into it very quickly. As always, I like to start with a review of performances of different Nigerian players from the past weekend of action. So let's just take a look at a number of Nigerian players who performed well, or at least had performances worthy of mentioning over this past weekend. Goalkeepers, we had Amas Obasoge keeping a clean sheet for Fasil Kenema. David Unwoloko also kept a clean sheet for NK Opatia in Croatia. Adebayo Adeleye also kept a clean sheet for Enosis. And then Stanley Nwabali kept a clean sheet, made 5 saves, saved the penalty as well for Chippa United. Shout out to the goalkeepers there. I always like to see a week like this that I can read out 4 goalkeepers that kept clean sheets. It makes me happy because it doesn't happen often. Moving on to the defenders. So Jamilu Collins, 2 interceptions, 1 chance created for Cardiff City. Bruno Onyemaechi, clean sheets, 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 clearances, 10 goals, 1. An all-round, immense performance from Bruno. Chidebere Duru kept a clean sheet, won 9 goals, made 7 clearances, had a good game for Sonderjysk. Kenneth Obina Mama kept a clean sheet, won 8 goals for CD Castellon. Chibuike Nwaiwu, 11 goals, won, 2 tackles, 2 chances created for Wolfsberger. Igo Ogbu kept a clean sheet, made 5 clearances for Slavia Prague. Toby Alagbe, 4 tackles, 5 interceptions, 7 goals, 1 for Asteras Actor. Kevin Akpoguma with 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, 9 clearances for Hoffenheim. We had Franklin Uchenatebo with 3 tackles, 5 goals, 1 chance created for Salzburg. We had Stephen Eze with 1 goal, 4 interceptions, 5 clearances, 6 goals, 1 for Jamshedpur. That one is over there in India. And then we had Ola Aino with a clean sheet, 3 tackles, and 7 goals, 1 for Nottingham Forest in England. Moving on to the midfielders, Innocent Bonke had a good game with 3 tackles and 8 goals, 1 for Adanaspor in Turkey. Malomor Taufik Ayodeji scored a goal for FK Bailis. That one is in Albania. Frank Onyeka with 6 goals, 1 and 2 chances created for Augsburg in the German Bundesliga. Rafael Onyedika with 3 goals, 1 for Club Brugge in Belgium. And then Ibrahim Olawoyin with an assist and 11 goals, 1 for Kaika Rizespor in Turkey. And then moving on to the attackers, Francis Eze created 3 chances for Zeleznica. Philippe Azango scored a goal and created 2 chances for Spartak Trnava. Stanley Ohawuchi was on target with a goal for Ebahaspor. Christian Payagbara scored a goal for Al Karaba in Iran or Iraq. I'm not sure one of those 2 countries. Sunday Adetunji scored a goal for Balkani. Franklin Sasere was on target for Floriana. Etiosa Igodaro was on target for Amazulu in South Africa. Matthias Oyewusi scored 2 goals for Valenciennes. Victor Olatunji got a goal for Sparta Prague. Tolu Arokodare scored for KRC Genk. Salim Fago Lawal was on target for NK Istra. Victor Osimhen got an assist for Galatasaray. Jordan Kadiri scored a goal for Uta Arad. Emeka Nnamani got 1 goal and 1 assist for B93. Ehije Ukaki scored a goal for Botev Plovdiv. Stanley Iheanacho scored a goal for CD Mafra. And then Alex Iwobi got an assist for Fulham. And then to wrap it all up, we had Bamidele Yusuf, who scored 4 goals. 4 goals for FK Vojvodina over there in the Serbian Superliga. So lots of Nigerian players in action. Lots of Nigerian players, like you've just seen me run through the list, that performed well. And these are only the ones that performed really well. Other players also had decent games. And long may it continue. Smith, like, let's touch on a couple players and their performances from this past weekend. I want us to start with a goalkeeper, Super Eagles number 1, Stanley Nwabali. So we had heard the news, unfortunately for him, during the international break, His father had passed away. He was allowed to leave camp early, returned to club action, and now I believe in a second game since then, saved the penalty, made 5 saves, kept a clean sheet. I saw that he dedicated the win to his father. But yeah, what do you say about Nwabali's performance and him being able to perform like this, even after losing his father only a short time ago?
Yeah, thank you. That shows that his mental strength. That shows that he actually was strong mentally because apart from even saving a penalty in that game, the one that caught my attention was a double save. He went for one and he went for the other. He went to the other side to actually add a double save. So for me, that shows that he's a tough guy. He's a guy that can actually just overcome adversity quickly. And someone that can actually come and stand up and be counted. So I'm really actually impressed with what you do, with what he actually did, and the goalkeeper in Croatia too. I'm happy that he has moved from. I think he used to he used to be second choice in what's it called? Is he this second club in Croatia? I'm gonna actually remember their name now. What's it? Ajiko Split. Is it Split? So like one. I think I admitted here.
He used to play for Rijeka.
Yeah. So now that he's now got a new club, he was on the bench for so many years.
Yeah.
But now that he's like, first choice somewhere, I was even taking him for Super Eagles. I'm happy that he's getting what a game time too, and also Wadley, good. But for me, standard among them is going to be Stanley Nwabali. I think he did so well. I just hope that these performances can get me a better move, from South Africa.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yes, shout out to Stanley Nwabali for sure. Okay, let's talk about another player. We've spoken about him, I think, last week and even the week before that. Got another assist this past weekend and continues to impress so far this season. I'm talking about the Super Eagles midfielder slash forward, Alex Iwobi. This past weekend going up against Tottenham Hotspur, never an easy game. We know how Tottenham are this season. And Alex Iwobi nearly scored, had a shot that smashed off the crossbar, nearly had another assist with a fantastic pass that just wasn't converted. And then he eventually got the assist for the goal scored by Tom Kearney. Um, Again, we've been talking about what is the right position, where should he be playing, but let's not get into all that detail now. Just simply put, me like, how good is Alex Iwobi playing?
This is probably the arguably the best season in his career. I think that a lot of people have been saying that, oh, you are attacking me that you are creating one opportunity. Come on, how many opportunity are other people actually were creating? So if you compare his stats with other players playing his position, he's above average. With his start this season. He's actually doing well. He's very dangerous. He nearly scored from a very beautiful move by Fulham, against Tottenham Hotspur. So he's having his best season now. And don't forget that he just came back from second position in AFCON 2. So probably the best year for Alex Iwobi. A lot of people are saying that like you mentioned earlier too, like what's his best position. I don't think that we should have if we have somebody like Alex Iwobi, I don't think that we should be worrying ourselves about Iheanacho and Chukwueze in that position.
Hmm.
If he's on the right wing, if you want a pinpoint cross to Sime, if you want a good cut back from that right wing that is always dormant, if you want a good cross, you want somebody that is very dangerous in that area, is Alex Iwobi. Forget all those guys. Forget it's Alex Iwobi. The number speaks for him.
And I like what you said there about in the Super Eagles, we have
Yeah.
a player like Alex Iwobi that is playing so well.
Uh-huh.
Why are we even bothering with Iheanacho on the right wing?
Uh-huh.
It should just not be happening. I I mean, there's no game till March, so they have enough time to watch and learn. But
Uh-huh.
when Alex Iwobi is playing so good like he is today,
Uh-huh.
if Chukwueze is not performing, put Iwobi on that right wing.
Yes.
You know, put Iwobi on the right wing and let's see what he can offer. In the
Yeah.
middle, you can go with Indidi, Dele Bashiru, and Onyedika or
Mm-hmm.
Onyeka or whoever you want to put there. But rather
Mm-hmm.
than sticking Alex in that middle where he's not shining,
Mm-hmm.
putting Iheanacho on the right where he's not playing well, or putting Chukwueze there where he plays well once every 15 matches, I
Mm-hmm.
think I hope that they are able
Are listening.
to figure that out because everybody can see it, but for some reason, now only Super Eagles no fit see am. But shout out to Alex Iwobi, man. Shout out to Alex Iwobi.
Yeah.
Top performances so far this season, and hopefully can continue all the way through till May, June. Okay, let us talk about another player. Again, last week I acknowledged him. This week I'm just going to acknowledge him again. One thing that I've asked for, consistency. So far, the one thing that he's giving me is consistency. And this past weekend, he netted his 10th goal of the season. I'm talking about Tolu Arokodare. Tolu Arokodare, of course, a player that has been knocking on the door of the Super Eagles so far this season. A lot of people have been talking about him. A lot of people think he should be in the team based on his form. A lot of people think that he has not yet earned it, or he has not yet, shown that he's better than the options that we have. But once again, I want to give kudos to Tolu Arokodare. I believe among the Nigerian players in Europe's top 10 leagues, Arokodare has now become the third player to hit 10 goals this season amongst the Nigerian players in Europe's top 10 leagues. In other lower leagues, there are other players that have even scored more than 10. But in the top 10 leagues, behind Josh Maja and Cyril Dessas, Arokodare is now the third Nigerian player to hit 10 goals this season. So yes, shout out to him for that one. But like, do you want to say anything about Arokodare?
No. Like you said, it's actually what immediately I saw that Genk scored. I went to go and check who scored. I just saw T Arokoda. It's about consistency. Like I like that, and you can know that even in the Belgian league, there's are numbers there. Yeah, there are numbers there because with this type of performance, you don't get a move. So that's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see. I was going to see what people are saying. Okay, I'll get to the comments in a bit. Let me just wrap up on the performances of different players this past weekend. Okay, one more performance to talk about, and this one I'm going to highlight him because this week he was selected as the Eagles striker star of the week. I'm talking about Bamidele Yusuf. Fantastic performance. When a player scores 4 goals in any match, you have to give the player some credit. It doesn't matter where you're playing, it doesn't matter what level you're playing. If we gather boys now, all of us go field, go play, you're not going to score 4 goals. So I'm giving him credit. I mean, and he plays in Serbia, so it's not like he's playing in let me not name any country and disrespect them, but it's not like he's playing in some very, very low league. Serbia is not a bad league, in context. So kudos to him. 4 good goals. You can watch the goals on our X Twitter page as well as on our Instagram, actually. So you can go check it out. Shout out to Bamidele Yusuf. Okay, Smith Layi, who impressed you the most?
For me, you can't. If I'm not going to actually mistaken, I think I'm going to have to pick Alex Iwobi because I think he actually will tick all the boxes because I took time to actually watch him play. And I just realized that this guy is just that. I watched a podcast that one guy, famous, a YouTuber in Nigeria, said that Alex Iwobi had no business in the national team. So I was just like thinking that, oh my days, with this guy, with what he's playing, I was so impressed with what he did. And I even think that, come on, he's really like, having his best year now. I just hope that we get a new coach and that coach can actually get the best out of him in the national team.
All right. Let me just take some comments very, very quickly. IK says it shows that our problem is coaching, talking about Iwobi. My space play says Iwobi plays on the right or left wing with a 4-man midfield, but not as a right winger in a 3-man attack. Uche Chuku says, I swear Iwobi is supposed to be our 7 right now. IK says Tolu is a perfect replacement for Boniface. I mean, they're not exactly the same, or they're not even similar types of strikers in any way. But yeah, and I don't want to talk about Super Eagles like that, but it's funny because when I see again, I know Boniface has not hit the mark for Nigeria yet.
Yeah.
Well, I've been seeing people on Twitter, different comments talking about, oh, hey, look at this Boniface, Arokodare should replace him, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny because I know, again, everybody likes who is on form, and you cannot take form for granted. But I laugh and I'm like, guys, are we forgetting that 2 seasons ago, Boniface 2 was in Belgium? When he was in Belgium, didn't he have more hype than the hype that Arokodare has now? But somehow, because he's not scoring for Super Eagles, all of a sudden, oh, he's useless, that we should dump him and bring in Arokodare. I'm not saying Arokodare will not do well, but I always find it funny because anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
Arokodare can come to Super Eagles and score 10 goals in his first 10 matches. He can
Mm-hmm.
also come and score no goal in his first 10 matches.
Mm-hmm.
You never really know. But yeah, and then finally, before we move on, Smith Layi, I want to just talk about one player, a player you like. Unfortunately, a little bit of negative news. This past weekend, in a very big game, a highly anticipated match, a match that I was very excited to watch, talking about Real Madrid against Getafe. Unfortunately, beloved midfielder Chris Santos Uche, after coming off the bench in that game, he pulled up with what looks to be a hamstring injury. He was subbed off, and it looks like he's going to miss at least a few weeks of action with that injury. So, unfortunate one. I wish him all the best. I hope that he recovers quickly. But yeah, Smith Layi, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about that one? Your guy has
Yeah,
gone down.
it's sad. It's sad. Like, football injury is like the end. The more anybody footballer, and nobody goes. What do you start a game and thinking that this injury should come and everything? No, it's unfortunate that it can happen at any time. It can happen in training. It can even happen at any time. So unfortunately, it's actually what it's actually injured now. I hope that he can actually come back and be stronger, because since there's rumor in transfer window now in January, you never know. He needs to come back and start playing before. I think that guy is going on break very soon, so maybe he can use that one to to recover probably. I hope he will not come and be eating Christmas chicken, and forget his because you see Nigeria when they come for Europe now start playing set with all those boys eating Christmas chicken, forgetting the whole thing. No, I want him to stay focused because he's still a young player and there's still a lot of things for him to learn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish him best of luck.
I wish him best of luck as well. I've chatted with him in the past a number of times. It doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would just go and forget himself because he's injured or because it's holiday. But I hope that the injury is not too serious. I was checking Getafe's channels today to see if they've given us an official timeline. They haven't given us any timeline quite yet. But hamstring injury usually is anywhere from like 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the grade of the injury, 3 to 6. So at worst, maybe 8 weeks. So yeah, next year, Sha, we should be seeing him. We should be seeing him back in action. So there you have it, guys. That is that with regards to this past weekend of action. As always,
I just want to say something. Somebody had the question here by Ungo Duani. Say, are you paying attention to Justin Njima? I just want to ask you this question now.
okay.
Justin Njima and Felix Agu came on a press conference that their dream is to play for Nigeria, and they have not been selected by by any of our national team. But do you think that since they said they will play for Nigeria, do you think that they should be on your own searchlight to you be your own?
I mean, so I will say this. Now that they've said they want to play for Nigeria, will I start caring? Yes. Now I care. Let's see how things develop. Am I going to all of a sudden start pushing for them to get called up? No. But
what about tracking them?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I care now, so I'll start tracking their performances. If they are performing well and I think that they can offer something, I will give my opinion as I always do. So I will be tracking them. I will be monitoring their games. When I think people need to know about it, I will let people know. But as of right now, I have nothing to say. Let me watch them well. Let me see that they really, really, really can offer something to the Super Eagles. Because right now, like Justin, for example, so far this season, it's not like it's not amazing. you can't say he's doing better than what the rest of the people are. So for me, it's just a matter of let's see how things go. But at least they've said it now, so the NFF can start.
But Felix Sago have been amazing before his injury.
Mm, see,
Team of the week in Bundesliga.
let's see how it goes. Don't worry. Let them come back. Let's see how it goes. I don't want to get into national team discussion too much just because of time.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Yeah.
asking about Chibuike Nwabali. Also, another player that has been doing very well. Made the team of the week several times this season. I've spoken about him. So yeah, definitely a good player and one to watch for the future, depending on how things go in that in that center back position. Even though Nwabali is ordinarily a midfielder. But yeah. Okay. I wanted us to quickly just jump into letting people know about how things are going in the NPFL, in the Nigerian Professional Football League, so far this season. Unfortunately, I do not have the graphics that I usually do for you guys this week. My apologies for that. But still, it was an interesting week for Nigerian football. Bendel Insurance, 2-1 winners over Plateau United. Lobby Stars, 1-0 winners over Kwara. El Kanemi, goalless draw against Bayelsa. Katsina, 1-0 win over Sunshine Stars. Ikorodu City, wow, 4-1 win over Aqua. Rivers United, 1-0 win over Kano Pillars. Niger Tornadoes, 2-1 win over Remo Stars. Heartland, 3-2 win over Nasarawa. Shooting Stars, 2-0 victory over Abia Warriors. And then goalless draw between Eyimba and the Rangers International. As far as the table, we have Rivers United still top of the table with 29 points after 15 games. Remo Stars in second place with 26 points. Incredibly, Ikorodu City, who we were laughing at when the season started, Ikorodu City are now third in the league with 24 points. Rangers in fourth. And then if you go to the bottom, you have Nasarawa 20th with 15. Aqua United 19th with 15, Bendel Insurance 18th with 15, and Plateau United 17th with 15. So it is tight at the top and it is also tight at the bottom. Smith Layi, what do you think about this past week of MPFL?
Yeah, another MPFL, another week, and it's just like they just keep changing in top of the table. This week is Remo, next week is this thing. Just keep changing. Those at the bottom have to keep on changing. Last time we were discussing about Ikorodu, they were last on the table, no wins. They sacked their coach. They brought in a new manager. Now they are now flying Ikorodu City. So I'm really, really, really surprised about that. So I like something. I watched the game between Naija Tornadoes and Remo FC at the Bakoko Tangora Stadium in Mina. That should not be a pitch. That is like a slaughter slam. I don't know how football can actually be played there. I don't think it's good for TV. I think that we should actually do better. And for me, Remo play the best football, but when you see all these long balls, before you know it, we concede quickly. So you cannot get the best. And the Remo coach complained that if you train all week on a very decent pitch, and you now go and play on the worst pitch on the match day, it tells you. I just think that we should improve based on that. But for me, the game of the week is between Enyimba and Rangers. Did not live up to expectation, and Ikorodu City have been fantastic. So, I want continent to come to Lagos. Yeah.
Yeah, if Ikorodu City can qualify for the continental competition like this,
Yeah.
maybe they watch CAF competition set for Lagos.
Uh-huh.
Incredible. Honestly, I'm
Incredible.
very impressed. It's still halfway.
Yeah.
A lot can still change before the season ends. But honestly, based on where they were when we're talking about them some weeks ago, to where they are today, it's incredible how the tides have turned and things have changed. Shout out to Ikorodu, man. Shout out to Ikorodu.
Yeah.
Even though I'm supposed to be a Sporting Lagos fan, but where's that out to Ikorodu City? Okay, so that's that in the NPFL. And I think there were some good goals that you guys can check out on social media. Shout out to Osino Konakwa, and I saw he's been posting about the league as always. I know I saw Anya Keme Okon scored a goal against Canopilas.
for Rivers United.
Yeah, for Rivers United, I think pretty good
Yeah.
goal.
And I just want to highlight something too. Any away ground that Ahmed Musa keep on going, the fans keep on coming out to actually what to mob him. I saw the things after the at the Duke and Messi Stadium after the game between Canopilas and Rivers United. A lot of fans came in. In fact, they don't even care about Finidi. They don't care about anybody. They were just going to Ahmed Musa, carrying, taking pictures of Ahmed Musa. So he's the governor for a reason. So we just hope that he's not injured when he's visiting your state. So that
Mm-hmm.
so that he can come, he's the governor for the reason, and it's good for the league too because people are now coming to watch Ahmed Musa.
No, shout out to Ahmed Musa, man. What he's doing, selfless guy, fantastic
Mm-hmm.
human being. Whether you like him or not for the Super Eagles, as a human being, as a man, he's a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic guy. What he's doing for the league now is just free promotion for the league,
Mm-hmm.
free publicity, just
Yeah.
trying to boost the reputation of the league
Yeah.
however he can. And like you said, now any city that he's visiting, the fans are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And remember when you asked me about it that last time, like how can we make the NPFL more popular,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I've always said this for me, in terms of a league, in terms of the popularity of the league, it always starts with the players.
Mm-hmm.
When you can make people to fall in love with the players in your league, gradually they
Yeah.
will fall in love with the clubs, gradually they will fall in love with the entire league.
Yeah.
And Ahmed Musa is doing a good job of bringing attention towards the NPFL. So I want to say, the governor, thank you, and keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered the NPFL. We've covered Nigerian players abroad. Now let us switch to some news. This one is just more or less news. Smith Layi, you're our resident transfer expert, and it's December, which means that the January transfer window is open in a couple weeks, and this is the time where reports, rumors start to fly around. So what can you give us? What is the latest? I guess I'll ask you first. What is the latest on Gift Urban? We know that Urban for the last few weeks has not really been featuring for Lyon. In fact, it has not even been in team
On the
sheet
bench.
at all, not
Yeah.
even on the bench.
Yeah.
So what's the latest on Gift Urban? Are we expecting him to move in January?
Yeah, I'll give you. If you say that there's something that a player that you are sure that will move this January, Emmanuel Dennis and Gift Urban, they have to go to get a move. So I know that Gift Urban is no longer in his coaches in the Leon plan any longer. They want to look for a way to actually to not to get rid of him, just to give him like a new life because he's also a professional. So in Dortmund, they have been looking, to actually to get him maybe probably on loan or to on loan and to buy. So and also what RB Leipzig too with VfB Stuttgart. So for me, I think that he just deserves like a new thing. He needs to actually to move. I think that is very sure. There's also been reports that Transfer in Turkey too also wanted Gift Urban, but I think that he fancies a move to Germany ahead of all those clubs. So for me, I think that Gift Urban is actually moving this summer, this winter, this winter transfer.
And
Yeah.
I think, he definitely needs to move. He needs to play games. He needs to be active. But let me ask you. You mentioned Dortmund, and Dortmund is a big team. It's a team that will get people's tongues wagging, will get people paying attention. But when you go to Dortmund, they have a player like Sehu Girassi, who has been absolutely on fire in 2024. They have other good forwards like Karim Adeyemi. Do you think if he goes to Dortmund, he will be able to get adequate playing time?
For me, I just think that the pace of the German Bundesliga suits him. I think if you see for a player like Karim Adeyemi to be doing well there, I just think that the pace of the Bundesliga actually what suits him, directly. So that's why I think. But for him to can he get a playing time there, you never know what's gonna actually what happen. Cyril Gerassi is like their main striker, there. And if anything actually what happened to Cyril Gerassi, who are they going to actually what turn to? So I think Gift Urban can, just needs confidence. I think that he can get playing time there. But for me, I think the best bet would have been RB Leipzig for him. Yeah, I think the best bet for him would have been RB Leipzig. Would have been very a good fit for him. Yeah.
But even even if we look at a team like RB Leipzig, they still have Openda. So it's there's competition.
Mm-hmm.
There's competition. If he wants to stay in a top league, if he
Mm-hmm.
wants to stay in a top club, there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be competition for sure.
Yeah, 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 it must be.
But I really hope that he can get back on his feet, man,
Mm-hmm.
because again, when I was saying it last year, people said I was being too harsh. Everything. This season I started, he got 1 or 2 goals, but things have just not quite worked out well for him.
Yeah.
So I really hope that he gets a worthwhile move. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Dennis. Now, if Dennis, that one, if he does not move, then, then I don't know what to say. Okay. But yeah, okay. Let me ask about another player. Another player. This player is a Super Eagles player. Is a defender. Um, and there have been some reports around potential transfers recently. I'm talking about Bright or Sayi Samuel Smith. What's the latest on that?
So there have been like rumor since summer that it might be on this to Crystal Palace. Some have linked him to Tottenham Hotspur. I've been linked to like nearly half of the Premier League clubs. I know that maybe probably is eager that they want doing the job. But what I can say basically is that he's running towards the end of his contract with Fenerbahce. So I think from January he can actually was signing the contract with any club in Europe. So and move him during summer. So and I think that anything that I saw is that they were quoting Mundo Deportivo. It's a very big newspaper in Spain that Deco is a big fan of Bright Samuel.
Hmm.
So and they are looking for ways to actually get a backup for Luis Kunde, as a right back. So they're thinking about see maybe they can actually send Ansu Fati to Fenerbahce and get Bright Samuel. So it depends on how Fenerbahce values Osai Samuel. But because he's going towards the end of his career, so I don't think they have any right to actually will just hold him that back. And it depends on if I don't know, maybe his girlfriend or his maybe he fancies moving to to the sun, to Barcelona, and actually was going to enjoy, themselves there. But I think if Deco really pursue this transfer. If Deco really actually wanted to sign Bright Samuel, I think it's like a dream move for him. I think that even though if to play just one season for Barcelona, I think it's going to be one of the highlights of his career.
I
That's
mean, it'll definitely be a big move. He's 26.
mm-hmm.
So if he's going to get a big move
Yeah.
now, is around the time where that kind of move will be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
But I want him to go and just sit on the bench in Barcelona. I don't know.
I think he will play.
I mean, he will play every once in a while for sure, but Kunde will probably get injured sometimes as well.
Yeah, but we judge outside this thing.
Yeah,
If Cody don't get injured, you get a red card. He will.
But I mean, for him to still be getting linked to a club like Barca, I think it's a good one. It's a good one. Okay. There was another player. So while I was preparing for the program today, I was doing a little bit of research, and I saw that there was some news. Like, I don't know if you have some detailed information on this, but Sadiq Umar, we're hearing that Real Sociedad want to, part ways with Sadiq. Do you have any information for us on that?
Yeah, I think Sadiq Umar should be moving even before this window. I think during summer, I think he actually wanted to move, but I think nothing was happening on the side of the team. So I think Sadiq Umar already went to go to Getafe. If you remember that our own Getafe, they don't have a striker. They have to get our own Crisanto Sushi to actually play. So it's one thing that they wanted to join Getafe, but I don't think that move actually was materialized. I don't know what really happened between Sociedad and Getafe. And it's like a three-man move now, the three-way move. I don't know what really happened in between, but I think it's a night time for him to actually move. He's not getting playing time. He's not scoring goals. He's not doing anything for the team. And I think it's time for him to actually move. So I know that it's also a player for us to watch out for this transfer window that is going to actually move. I'm not surprised to actually hear those rumors too.
And I saw that one of the teams that's potentially looking at Sadiq seriously is Sevilla. Interestingly enough, Sevilla have a Nigerian striker on their books, Kelechi Iheanacho. And according to reports coming out of Spain, they are saying that the Sevilla hierarchy have already kind of given up on Kelechi Iheanacho. If you've seen their last 2 matches, he's been on the bench, unused sub, I think even one of their matches that they had when they needed to bring a striker on, they brought in one 18-year-old striker that they have rather than bringing in Iheanacho. So reports in the media in Spain are saying Sevilla have said, okay, you know what? We mess up, we're going to just take our L and move on. And they are considering Sadiq as an alternative. Apparently, Sadiq is a striker that they had wanted before he even
Before.
joined Sociedad.
Yeah, yes.
They just couldn't pay the fee that Almeria was looking for as at then.
Yeah.
And then now they want to see if they are able to get their hands on him. I think it's a bit sad for Kelechi that they would have given up on him already, um, and they want to replace him with his compatriots. But I want to see Sadiq go somewhere that he can actually get playing time.
But
That season, I think it was 2021 season with Almeria, where he was so fantastic. I want to see him get close to that level again. I
yeah.
know it was La Liga 2 and this is La Liga now, but still, even if he can get to 60% of what he did that year,
Yeah.
it would be a good,
Yeah.
season for him. So let's see what happens there with Sadiq Umar and
Yeah.
move to potentially Sevilla elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Okay. So I just want to ask you this question because when Iheanacho joined Sevilla and we came here for this podcast, he said, I should not judge him now, pre-season and everything. I want to ask you this question now because we have to check our scorecard. 3 months after, what has changed?
What has changed?
Yeah. From the game against Liverpool and now, what has changed for Kelechi Iheanacho?
I don't think anything has changed. I don't
Yes.
think anything has changed. This is still the same Iheanacho that we knew from 1 year ago, if not even 3 months ago. It's the same Iheanacho we know. Nothing has changed, and it is unfortunate that this is how it is. But
Mhm.
at 28 years old, I think we've seen the best of Kelechi Iheanacho.
Hmm. So there's nothing to come again. So another player to watch out for the transfer window. Maybe Saudi move.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. You can go and
Let's,
ban the goes to Saudi.
let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's that on transfers, potential transfers.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know who you think should move, who you think should stay. And yeah, engage with us in the comments for sure. Let me see what people are saying very, very quickly. My space place says Kelechi Iheanacho's situation is very weird. Such a talented underachiever. Um, Emeka says Gift Urban still needs some discipline on his part in any team he's moving to. Otherwise, he would have similar problems he had in Lyon currently: disobedience and lack of personnel discipline. Okay. John Jones says if he gets to Barca, Osai's agents should get a mansion. Taiwo Ogunade says rumors of Igor Ogbu to EPL also. Okay. Um, DXA says with the way Kelechi plays, it's easy for any team to give up on him. Okay. That's it on transfers. So yeah, engage with us in the comments. As always, we'll respond to as many of them as possible.
Sorry,
Um,
sorry. Before you
yeah.
move on to that issue,
Okay.
I want to put you on the spot. His coach in national team was like Gavon. Maybe he said that he's an asset to this team. Do you think he's an asset to Nigerian national team? Just what's the answer? Just
Who is an asset to Nigerian national team?
Iheanacho.
At the moment, no. With all due respect to him, at the moment, no, because I think that seniority that he brings, I think other people can bring it. Whatever leadership, whatever intangible it is that he brings, I think other people can bring it. Now, I don't know the inner workings of the Super Eagles camp. I'm not there, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe there is some extremely important thing that he does. But from the outside looking in, I think whatever intangibles he brings, other people can bring. So I wouldn't consider him an asset
Yeah.
um, at the moment.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about off the field stuff for one. Second, let's move off the field. So about 5 weeks ago, if you guys remember, Victor Boniface was unfortunately involved in a car accident where he sustained some minor injuries. I think he had to miss one game for Leverkusen, but thankfully, to the glory of God, it was nothing serious, and he was able to get back on the football field. Now, unfortunately, over the past week, Victor Boniface has been in the news again for this driving thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but last time when the whole thing happened, Smith, like, I was saying is that it's an interesting time that we live in, that
Mm-hmm.
a football player gets into an accident,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the football player himself that is posting the accident to social media, posting
Yeah.
himself injured, posting the car damaged. I was saying it's a very interesting time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
before the player would try to hide it,
Uh-huh.
maybe one Sun journalist would just find a way to just get the picture or go and leak it on newspaper. But it was a thing that the player would try to hide.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that, okay, well, the fact that he posted it himself made me just assume and conclude that it was probably not his fault in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's his fault, why would he post it? Like
Yeah.
brain,
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably not his fault, the fact that he was posting about it. And then now, only about a month removed from that incident, he was captured on video speeding, going 20 kilometers per hour over the speed limit on a highway,
Mm-hmm.
while also texting and scrolling on his phone.
Mm.
Now, this is not the first time that Boniface would do that. I follow him
Mm-hmm.
on social media. I've seen him several times using his phone while in his car, whether jamming with his friends, whatever the case may be. We all know this in every country in the world that I'm aware of, Sha.
Mm-hmm.
It is illegal to text and drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the
It
UK.
is,
Yeah.
it is not something that you should do
Yeah.
because it is a very, very dangerous practice. It's a very unsafe practice. Now, don't get me wrong. Even I drive. There,
Mm-hmm.
we've all done it before. Maybe we're driving and we'll just quickly look at our phone, or maybe we're at a red light and we'll
Mm-hmm.
just quickly check something. But at least we have the wherewithal to know that what we are doing is still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if police is there, we will not do it. We should
Mm-hmm.
not allow them catch us. Now, for the fact that he's a professional football player, I know he was chilling with, I believe, somebody that is an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and they were having a good time. It was the person that was recording him going 20 kilometers per hour over the speed limit while scrolling and texting on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very bad look. I've said this thing before. I said it when we spoke about Bruno some months ago, about how artists and footballers, while they are both celebrities, footballers need to realize that things that the artists can get away with, they
Mm-hmm.
cannot. Because
Yeah.
that artist that posted it on because it was on the artist's Instagram page,
Mm-hmm.
probably did not think too much about it. Harmless thing, they're just vibing, enjoying themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Posted a video of him and his guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that person in that video is a professional football player who is
Mm-hmm.
held to different standards,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes story in Germany, it becomes story around the world. I've always told Nigerian players, you need to be careful, man, when it comes to your brand, when it comes to perception of things, and Boniface even liked the video when the guy posted it. Boniface even liked it. So it was obvious that Boniface too did not even think too much about it
Mm-hmm.
until the backlash started coming. Then the guy
Mm-hmm.
had to delete the video. Xabi Alonso had to talk about it. Bayer Leverkusen as a club is having to make a statement
Mm-hmm.
saying that they will investigate, they will talk to their player, let
Mm-hmm.
him know that he shouldn't do something like that. I just think that players need to be more professional, players need to be more responsible. To whom much is given, much is expected.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a professional football player, but even I would never post myself texting and driving
Mm-hmm.
because it is simply just not something that is good to
Mm-hmm.
publicize.
Mm-hmm.
What benefit can anybody gain from seeing you texting and driving? And then when you are now a role model, when you're now a football player, when you're somebody that others, young people look up to, you are held to even higher standards than the average person.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably going to get some kind of fine. I think he's probably going to get a very, good talking to by his club. But he needs to protect his image better. He needs to be safer. He needs to be safer, period. I've never been in an accident in my life, but if I enter accident, that kind of accident, I don't know if I'll be able to be texting and driving 1 month later. So he needs to just be more careful,
Mm-hmm.
safer, care more about your public perception, care more about your public brand. People that are around you need to be more careful and need to protect you more, because there's the kind of people that are around you. Like, let's say now you're a celebrity, you can be doing all the bad things in the world. They
Mm-hmm.
know that nobody see Smith
Mm-hmm.
Layi, we have to protect him because
Mm-hmm.
he's our main person where they bring in the money, everything. And there are some people that will just come 2 seconds, they don't open camera, just they
Mm-hmm.
record everything. So you have to know that the people that are around you need to be more careful.
Mm-hmm.
If all the Ronaldos, Messis, all these stars, if they lived their lives carelessly like this, do you think that Ronaldo will not have had more controversy, or Messi will not have had more controversy or more bad stories or anything by now? You might think you're not a big star like them yet, though. But again, if you don't start to act like that now, you will not get to that level. I always
Mm-hmm.
tell people, a lot of the time you don't know what you are losing because you never had it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So you need to be more careful. I don't want to be like as if I'm ranting too much about Boniface. Boniface is my guy. I like him as a footballer. I like him as a person. But Nigerian footballers in general need to be more careful when it comes to professionalism, responsibility, and protecting themselves as individuals and as brands. Smith Layi, over to you.
You said it all, but there's one thing I just want to correct there. You said that sometimes, if you can text when you are driving, but I'm not sure you can text when you're driving at 140. You cannot text. You get mind for you to be able to be texting and be driving at that type of speed. And apart from Boniface, he should think about Nigeria. We still need him. You should think about his career. You should also think about people on the road too. If you think about yourself, think about people on the road too. For me, I just think that he needs to be very careful because it's Germany laws are very strict, and they can remove points away from his driving. He might not be able to drive, he might be taking Uber, but it's just something that he actually needs to actually control. And I don't know, the world is like a small village now. Something that somebody in Nigeria posted. Alonso saw it. How did Alonso? How did they send it to Alonso? How did the German newspaper got it? How did the Bundesliga have to get it too? It's just crazy. That means that anything you are doing, you must be what? Very careful. And I know of a football player, so Nigerian player, when you are coming to his house, he doesn't allow you to use phone.
Hmm.
It doesn't allow you to use phone because anything can get leaked. Any small thing, any argument can come out.
Any small
Any small thing,
conversation,
you can take his picture in his boxers. Anything.
literally.
Yes, you can take his picture in his boxers before you know it. It's already what everywhere. So you have to be careful. You have to screen people around you all the time. But if you're talking about with all these things, if it comes to England, they will roast him.
Hmm.
He needs to be very, very careful, and I wish him the very best of all. I don't want to say too much about him. I know that he has learned his lessons. I saw him post for the first time because when that thing happened, he didn't do his memory again. So, but I think I think he's probably actually back in training, and also with some Nigerian celebrities too, like Davido, and not quite long. So for me, I just wish him that he can learn from all this, and I think he football than all these things because the people I see around him, they will not. I don't think he focus. They still a long way for him to go. It's still a long way for him to go. I just hope that he learn from all these things.
Yeah, I really do hope that he learns, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
And it's funny because this is similar to what I was saying when I remember when Osimhen was tweeting anyhow back then, and I was saying it that guys, you
I
have
think
to
I stopped that.
realize what you say.
Yeah, I stopped that.
Yeah, stop. But I remember back then I was saying it that you need to realize that your audience now is not only Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
You might think, oh, you're just bantering with your Nigerian fans, but one German person will see it now and will go and
Mm-hmm.
misinterpret the whole situation. So I
Mm-hmm.
like, we need to be more careful. Like I get that certain things is cruise, banter, whatever, just vibe, you're having fun, but you just need to be more careful. Even the most harmless things, you never know how it's going to be taken. Look at how a very harmless example today. Now, banter, I know what banter is. Now, today, Boniface posted on his story, congratulations, bro,
Mm-hmm.
Osimhen. I don't know if you guys saw it with a picture of a jet.
Okay.
When I saw it on his story, I was like, huh, did Victor buy a jet? I quickly did mathematics in my head. I said, Victor doesn't have money to be buying a jet.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked at the picture. I looked at the picture. I said, no, this just looks like a picture that somebody just went online
Mm-hmm.
and just got from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go on Twitter. People on Twitter say Osimhen don't buy jet too.
Uh-uh.
Like people on Twitter have posted Osimhen acquires private jet. Boniface congratulations Osimhen on private. Like people have just said Osimhen has bought a private jet.
Hmm.
Osimhen eventually replied on his story, like, "Oh, your own self they come, or this one's out." So obviously it is a joke,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what I'm saying. When you're a public figure like that, before you know it, somebody has carried the news.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one is harmless, whether or not Osimhen bought a private jet, what it doesn't hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But on a different day, a different story, it can be something else.
Mm-hmm.
No, literally, because I'm looking on Twitter now again, people are saying the fact that Boniface posted it means that it must be true.
Hmm.
I was seeing about the private jet. So people just need to be very careful with the way they put things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some things are harmless like this one, but some
Mm-hmm.
other things can cause harm whether you expect it or not. But yeah, shout out to Victor Boniface, man. Hopefully you're back on the pitch um real soon. But please just try not to speed.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to speed, try not to use your phone while you're speeding.
Yes,
If
really.
you have to speed and you have to use your phone while you're speeding,
Mm-hmm.
then try not to record video.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
And we prefer you to be showing us the goosey. Don't show us when you are speeding.
okay, moving on very quickly. Let us talk about still off the field, but off the field reflection of the efforts that was put in on the field. When players play well, one of the things that they fight for, that they battle for, is trophies. And other than winning trophies with your club, footballers also have the potential to win individual awards. Recently, the nominees for FIFA's The Best Awards were released, and we had four Nigerian players who were nominated for prestigious awards. I'm talking about Ademola Lookman, William Trust Ekong, Asisat Oshuala, and Paul Onwachu. Ademola Lookman and William Trust Ekong were both nominated for the men's best 11.
Mm-hmm.
So they are both nominated for the men's best 11. No, it's not the men's best 11. Sorry, for the men's what's it called? Okay, no, the men's best 11. Yes,
Yeah.
Lukman and Ekong men's best 11. Onwachu is nominated for the Puskas Award for the men's best goal, and
Mm-hmm.
Oshuala is nominated for the Mata Award for the women's best goal. I first want to say congratulations to all four players, most especially to William Trist Ekong and Ademola Lukman. We know how Ekong bossed at the AFCON and, of course, had a decent season for PAOK. We know how Lukman ran the show for both Nigeria and Atalanta, leading them to that Europa League trophy.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
not too surprising there. Onwachu could have even had another goal nominated, but his scorpion kick finish for Trabzonspor, fantastic, beautiful goal. Best goal scored by the Nigerian player last year for sure. Nominated, and then Oshuala with an overhead kick nominated for the best women's goal. Smith Layi, what was your reaction to seeing our Nigerian players nominated for these awards?
It's good. It's good. And it's I'm happy that these guys are putting Nigeria in the global map, and that's actually what the most important thing. Ekong did so well in the AFCON. I think everything was largely based on his AFCON performance.
Yeah.
So, and also to Lukman too, based on his AFCON performance, and also what he did well for Atlanta. So for me, I'm actually happy with that she was nominated. A lot of people forgot about Jola. When I saw her name there, I was also very happy for her. I hope that she can win that award. So we can see a different style. The way she used to come to for award ceremony with like different swag. We want to also see her. Maybe she can actually win it. And also for London, actually, I'm not really sure the goal that actually was nominated. I don't know. Maybe it was that run from the midfield.
No. It was not. It was the scorpion kick.
Okay, Scorpion kick go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually when the guy saw that run from that midfield and the Ronaldo run. I mean, what do they call it? The Messi type of goal. So I'm happy. I'm happy that for that giant of a man to score that type of goal, really, really actually was happy that he's doing that. So I wish them the best of luck. I just hope that maybe I don't know if you can win or Shala, but I'm not really sure about Lukman, and Ekong winning. The best
No, I think Lukman and Ekong, congratulations to them, but I don't really think they have a chance. A
chance.
chance here. This is more so just at least acknowledging the fact that they are considered to be, among the best.
Yeah.
Onwachu has a good chance, but I think maybe Garnacho will win that. Um, there were some good goals. I don't know. Maybe Garnacho, maybe somebody else will win that one. I don't think they will give it to Onwachu. And then Oshuala, I don't think Oshuala will win it either. I'm even on it. I won't lie. I was even surprised that her goal was nominated. It was an overhead kick, but it wasn't like most outstanding overhead kick. But still, it's a feather in their cap for them to be nominated for this. So kudos to them on that one. Sticking with awards, but moving on very, very quickly. So just yesterday or the day before, the FIFA Pro World 11 nominees were released. And to the surprise of some, there was no Lukman, there was no Ekong, no Nigerian player nominated for the FIFA Pro World 11. Now, for context, the FIFA Pro World 11 is the 11 best players as voted by other professional football players. So FIFA Pro has nothing to do with journalists, has nothing to do with media. FIFA Pro is simply voted by the players. Now, what this means is that all the other professional football players did not consider Lukman and Ekong to be among the best, despite whether Ballon d'Or or anything else. What do you think that says? Like that their own colleagues did not nominate them?
I'm even surprised that apart from even not nominating Lukman, I realized that there was no player from this Italian Serie A that was even nominated. So, and it was between England, Germany, and Spain and Saudi Arabia with MLS as the people that actually got dominated. For me, I just think that it's not really a fair reflection of how these guys actually was performed. In Europe, I don't think I think sometimes too it could be because of loyalty, because of emotion. Some players pick a particular player over the other one. For me, I think if not Ekong, I think Lukman deserved to be there ahead of Ronaldo. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't think it was a fair reflection, but at the same time, I was, footballers at the end of the day, you never really know how people are thinking and are picking, because like you said, like Ronaldo, Messi, things. I'm like, come on, guys, But maybe it's just that their fellow footballers respect them too much that it's just like, how will I not put Messi, or how will I not put Ronaldo, or whatever the case may be. It was a bit surprising. It would have been nice for them to at least Lukman to be nominated. Even if you say he won't make the final cut, it would have been nice. But it is what it is. That's why we have to. That's why we have to hype our own, so that we don't depend on the rest of the world to do it, for us. But yeah, shout out to those that were nominated for the best. Okay. We'll be rounding off very, very soon. But yeah, now we've covered a lot of club football. Let us just transition and wrap up with national team conversations. Let us wrap up with national team conversations. In case you missed it, so the Super Falcons of Nigeria were in action against France, Le Bleu of France. We unfortunately fell to a 2-1 defeat in a keenly contested international friendly. The team saw the return of several stars that were left out of the last squad. And of course, we still had certain players like Ajibade Oshuala missing out due to injury. Another year was in goal and captain the side, whereas Ifoma Onumonu led the attack. And of course, Ifoma Onumonu was the one that scored the goal for the Super Falcons just before halftime of that encounter. Smith Layi, without going into too much detail, because we already did a whole post-match show, when we look at this game against France, what are some of the lessons that we have learned and, positives that we can take?
For me, I think that number one lesson we actually learned is that we know that these guys can actually play ball. If they are given the right freedom to actually to express themselves. So, but for me, I just think that they can actually express themselves, and tactically too. I think these guys can actually adapt to like different formations thrown at them. So I think that if you want to bring a coach in or you want to retain this man, these guys are very flexible, and some of them can actually even play multiple positions and adapt to a different formation. We saw that under Randy Wardrum, Informa Numonu was playing as a right winger. You remember a right winger was a left winger. Any of those two. But you can see clearly that she led the line very well, and she scored from a very beautiful counter attack. As by Monday Gift. So for me, one thing is that this guy can actually adapt very well. This guy can actually they can play football, and secondly too, they can also rub shoulders with the best in the world. So that is one good thing we actually learn from that. But the drawback from that game is that because I have a long conversation with one of the players that actually played in that team, and she made me know so many things. But I just want to say a few things. The defensive organization that we had under and the wardrobe, we are losing it slightly. You can see clearly that there's no organization in that defense. And if your goalkeeper is making 8 saves, imagine, bringing a new goalkeeper in and, it's going. So you can't just keep on conceding. And, you can't, if you keep on conceding like that, it's going to be extremely very hard. If you see the Olympics we played, you can count how many opportunities that the Falcons actually were considered, in the Olympic games. In the World Cup that we actually played, you can count how long and how many times they had to beat our defense. But this time around, it was like they were just slicing through our defense like anyhow, if not because of the Golden Girl. It would have been a very, very difficult night for Nigeria. So for me, I just think that it's early days for Coach Madugu. I just think that he can still learn with this team. But for me, I think that if this is a competitive game, France will approach it in a different way. They might actually will give us a lot of problem. For me, I think because of this friendly thing, there's a way they will have approached it. They go be like they will not be able to substitute. The way they substituted players is going to be more competitive, and I think that they might actually would give us a lot of problem. More. So I just like I spoke to the player. I said that give this man a chance. This man will actually will deliver. I hope so. But for me, the early signs are not really telling me that it will.
Well said. I'll just say for me very quickly, as far as lessons that we've learned, we need a backup goalkeeper because Chiamaka goes under a lot of pressure, and we need to know that if she's not there, we can hold our own. We need to get back into our defensive solidity, so we need to become a good defensive unit again. If we're not going to score many goals, at least let's not be conceding. And we are still an almost team. I've said it before. We're a team that almost, we competed, we fought, we almost scored. We had a chance against, if only we took our chance against Spain, if only we did this. We're still an almost team and not yet a team that actually delivers when we play against these other big nations. So hopefully these things can be figured out. There's still quite a number of months before the WAFCON in the summer. So let's see how it goes, But at the end of the day, it was not the worst result in the world,
Mm-hmm.
um, and hopefully the players can pick it up next time they get together again. But it'll be interesting to see how the player selections continue in terms of the mix of NWFL players and the ones that are playing abroad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that with regards to the defeats to France. And then to wrap up, we'll switch to conversation about or around the Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, the men's national team. Following the November friendlies, the FIFA World Ranking was updated. And if you know how these things work, you wouldn't have been too surprised about how it affected us. But the Super Eagles of Nigeria have fallen 8 spots down to 44th in the FIFA Men's World Ranking, which now also means that we are the fifth ranked national team in Africa. Sad, disappointing. What can I say? A year of so many things happening, but the more things change, the more things stay the same. When the year kicked off, the first rank that we had this year was 42nd. That was before the AFCON. We went to the AFCON. We had a good tournament. Ended up finishing second. When the first ranking was released in 2024, we jumped up to 28th.
Hmm.
From 42nd, we jumped up to 28th. And it looked as if, wow, 2024 is off to a good start. Let's see how things continue. And from then, since that 28th, we've just been falling 30, 38, 39, 39. We went up to 36th, and then now we have dropped to 44th. Now, again, some people might say, oh, these world rankings mean nothing. These world rankings don't matter. But remember that these things could play a role when it comes to AFCON draws, for example,
Even
depending on whether you're a top seed,
World Cup playoff.
whether you're a top seed or you're a second seed. When it comes to World Cup playoffs as well, the FIFA ranking plays a role. So while people might say, yeah, what does it matter if they rank us first or they rank us 100? Oh, they are ranking. I think I saw which country was it that was in the top 20 or so. Iran. Yes, Iran is 18. And I remember I was like, Iran, huh? Is Iran really the 18th best national team? You start to ask these questions. You might think it doesn't matter, but it plays a role. It affects us. And at the end of the day, it's just not a good look, man. I just think it's just not a good look for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The way we have clout, the way we make noise, the way we hype ourselves. Osime, Lookman, Boniface, Chukwueze, Iwobi, everybody. And we are only 44th in the world. I think it's quite shameful. It's quite embarrassing. The fact that we cannot have a higher standing in the world. The fact that we ended up finishing the year in a worse position than when we started is very disappointing, and obviously this comes down to results on the field, different issues with the NFF and how they administer the team, not having the right coach at the helm of affairs, and dropping unnecessary points. But yeah, very disappointing. But yeah, Smith, like, what are your thoughts on that?
No, so sad, so sad. If you cannot beat Rwanda at home, if you are playing in your backyard and the Rwanda can go people with you and beat you in your backyard, in your back garden. So that means that what do you expect? Rwanda is not part of the first 100.
Hmm.
They are outside one of the first 100. So they beat you at home. So they're going to drag you down. We couldn't beat Benin Republic, in Abidjan. We couldn't beat them. They went toe-to-toe with Nigeria. We're lucky to get a draw. What do you expect? Like you said, when we were 28th in the world, it was solely because we performed very well during that last AFCON. Immediately, they gave it to Finidi and Eguavon. Everything dropped. So it's just a shame. And people have been saying that what's the benefit of being first? What benefit of being having high FIFA ranking? See, when we went for a World Cup playoff between Nigeria and Ethiopia in 2013 or so, it's because we had a good ranking. That's why we got Ethiopia. Other countries got Egypt, Senegal. Uh-huh. So because we're highly placed, that's why we got what? Ethiopia. So that is the advantage. So if you are not doing well in your FIFA ranking, there's a way they push you to a very difficult situation. And talking about it, that we only had a coach in the first 2 months of this year. Other ones have been out interim capacity. Okay, we have a coach for like 3 weeks too in June. the what was it called? Oh, sorry, it's not the shortest serving coach. I think the shortest serving coach was Bruno Labbadia. They announced him in the middle of the night before the morning. you know, so I just think that we need to take this thing seriously. We need to take this thing seriously. And coincidentally, the two teams we couldn't beat in the last window, they are the one we're going to face next year too. So it's just a very sad situation. So those that are just hiding under the umbrella that it doesn't matter, it's just that people that actually were trying to cover this failure. It's a failure. And if you are 44 in the world, before you know it now, there's no game before July, before next year's match. Maybe our Shan team will qualify, will not qualify. They can judge us with that. So we just need to actually to get things right. For me, I'm not really pleased with the ranking. I just hope that they can actually sort themselves right, get a new coach, and let me just say something. So I know that's not part of the topic. And for those that have been going on Twitter to go and support say Eguavon, please, they know that we know that Eguavon cannot do this job. We know that those in the NFF know that he cannot do this job, and it's going to be the service to this country if you give this man this job. So I just want to say it clearly: Nigeria should go and look for a new coach, and we will back and better next year. That is it.
All right. Thank you very much, Smith Layi. And just for context, Nigeria were the biggest droppers of all the nations in the world in the latest FIFA ranking. We dropped 8 spots. That was
and Nigeria was
yeah, and Nigeria were the biggest risers.
yeah.
They climbed 9 points. And just for context, just so we are aware, the Chan qualifiers, they do count towards the FIFA ranking. So the final ranking of the year is going to be released on the 18th of December. So if we go and fumble and lose 2 matches against Ghana in Chan qualifiers, it can even affect us further, make us drop further in the next ranking. So it's just something to be aware of. It's not only Super Eagles A, even Super Eagles B. It counts towards our world ranking. With that being said, we have covered all the topics that we had on the cards for today, and now is the time where we get to chat with you guys, get to answer questions. If you'd like to call in, I've posted the link. You can also call in and share your thoughts. And we already have a friend of the house waiting to join us and share his thoughts. I know he will have a lot to say. I know you guys love hearing from him as well. So without further ado, welcome Olu of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure to be
Ring a bell. AyoT, ring a bell.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah.
How are you, Olu?
We're good.
Fantastic.
So yeah, Olu, I mean, we're in December, coming towards the end of the year, so lots of stuff happening, but we're also reflecting on how things have gone. I'll ask you about the Super Eagles and our world ranking, but before we get into that, I want to ask you about Alex Iwobi. A player for Fulham, of course, born and grown up in your club Arsenal. Over the years, Iwobi continues to impress for Fulham. Had a chance to get a goal, should have had probably 2 assists in that game against Spurs. At what level if you had to describe and quantify it, how well would you say Iwobi is playing right now?
So before you continue, let me just say something. I think Olu will be happy that he gave an assist against Spurs. So because I understand. so he's gonna be praising Iwobi now. Yeah,
And he should have scored, like you said. So
yeah.
I mean, what it's not as surprising as maybe sometimes we might have thought it should be, if we're being honest, because Iwobi has always had the talent. We've always known this. You don't play, I don't know, 7 seasons in the Premier League without being a seasoned professional with some form of talent. Let's just keep it real. I think anybody that plays for Everton, there's always going to be, when he was at Everton, he's always going to cap your talents. It's like if you watch Dwight McNeil right now, if you put Dwight McNeil in, like, I don't know, Aston Villa, he might be doing better. So I think sometimes his perception as a player was affected by the Everton move, but we always knew that they didn't exactly have the strikers to, finish the chances that he creates. And now him playing in a system for a manager, first of all, we can't even negate the impact of being around home comforts. We know he's raised in London, so probably being closer to family, probably feels a lot more settled. Fulham, there's pressure like all clubs in the Premier League, but Everton are one of those clubs in the north, because the whole identity of the city can also be faced by the club or shaped by the club. Maybe the pressure might be a bit too intense sometimes. So Everton, like, without even being as good as Liverpool, like, I can imagine, like, in London, half the city doesn't even care. Like, if they see Iwobi, they might even ignore him. So maybe just those home comforts sometimes help. But on a footballing level, Marco Silva, we know, is a very attacking coach, which helps. And we also knew that he was always going to start. So even last season, which was his first season at Fulham, he has been put in positions to shine. And I think that's the most important thing to mention. So now this season, when they've now raised the level of the squad and they've added the likes of Smith Rowe into the team, or, like even a Reece Nelson, I think that he already has that natural chemistry with them and they're playing to his strengths. So it's just fantastic to see. Do we believe he can get even more goals and assists? Of course. But I think when you look at what Iwobi has done so far this season, I mean, he has 3 goals and 3 assists. So, there's still more that can be done, but his general gameplay and what he's been doing has definitely been amazing to see. And it's quite a contrast from what you see with the national team. But let's be honest, there's a reason Marco Silva does not play Iwobi as a central midfielder. That's not his best position. So, he's an attacking player that needs to be put in the positions where he can shine, not manning a midfield and trying to struggle in the heat with Ndidi or Oyeka. So far so good. It's fantastic to see, and long may it continue. To be honest, I think he's also affected slightly by Fulham strikers. Muniz initially was prolific at the end of last season, but this season he went off the boil. Raul Jimenez has come in, but initially started hot, but
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez has never been a clinical. When you are relying on her to score you 2 goals here and there. So
Let
all
me
in all, fantastic
okay.
to see.
Let me ask you another question about a different player this time. We've looked at positives and we've praised Alex Iwobi. Let's look at slightly negative now. So reports coming out of Spain are saying that Sevilla have given up on the Kelechi Iheanacho experiment. They've kind of put their hands in the air and taken their L, and they are now looking towards other strikers in the January window. In your opinion, Olu, have we seen, like, is the best of Iheanacho behind us, and should we just move on and stop worrying about him, or is there still something exciting to come from Kelechi? What do you think?
If without context, I would have said, how can we say someone who just turned 28 years old is somebody to write off? Like, it was 28 in October. But when you really like analyze the way he's been performing for a while, there's clearly been a steady decline. He had that one breakout season at Man City where he scored 14 goals in all competitions, scored the winner at Old Trafford, 8 goals in the Prem. But if you look at Kelechi's record, apart from that one season in 2021 when he scored the 19 goals, they won the FA Cup. He scored 10 goals in all competitions season before. Apart from those 2 seasons for Leicester and his first season for Man City. He has never scored up to double figures in any season as a striker,
Hmm.
off bench or not. So this is someone that we all know the kind of promise he started with and what his potential look like. So I think we already have to accept that Kelechi Iheanacho is a player that has not maximized potential, and that's okay. The only reason why we keep talking about Iheanacho is because Nigeria, sometimes we forget that our talent pool is not as tiny as we think it is, especially when you think about the striker and pool of talent. The reason I bring this up is, for example, the reason why we're talking about Iheanacho right now, if he was English, for example, he would just become a striker like Calvert-Lewin. Do you understand what I mean? When you have a lot of strikers, if a player is performing and then he stops performing, come on, everybody, we adjust to your level. Calvert-Lewin knows they're not calling him for England anytime soon. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the same way Iheanacho has been showing his downward trajectory, because if we've scored 90 goals in 2021, we've seen you in 2022 season, we've seen you in 2023 season, we've seen you in 2024 season. We are now watching you in 24-25 season. And we even thought, okay, with your skills, maybe you go to La Liga, it's not as physical. Maybe you probably even get a fair shake of the dice over there. And you can't even get starts. Even when the starting striker got injured for a period of time, he wasn't even starting games. When you compare it to Ejuke, who's at the same club, who, let's be honest, if we know he's injured right now, but because of the way he's been performing over the last like 2 months before he got injured, you can tell Sevilla are already thinking, Victor Orta is already thinking, wow, okay, I'd not waste my money on this guy, thank God. Ejuke is already showing that, okay, at least I'm returning on the ROI is already there. Kelechi is already a waste, and this was a free transfer. So Sevilla probably even gave him the opportunity because it's a free hit. Maybe in reality, if there was a fee attached to him, a club of Sevilla's caliber might not have even come for him. Because last season he played in the championship, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, in the championship.
6 goals in all competitions, 5 in 23 games. That and Jamie Vardy has already scored 5 prem goals this season at 36. So honestly, I think we're speaking about Kelechi Iheanacho because maybe out of respect to the start of his career and his initial burst in the national team. Remember, there was a time when he first came where
He
his
was
goal.
our number one striker before Igalo.
There we go, and his goal ratio was.
Yeah.
I remember his first like 20 games. His goal ratio was quite significant. I was thinking, this guy's almost matching Obafemi's Martin's initial stats. But we have to judge based on what we're seeing right now. And it's the same way if we see a player that's been rubbish before and then they have a very good season now, we would say, you know what? Like I just watched Ndidi be named man of the match today in their match against 3-0. Honestly, I don't know if his wife gave him one correct stoop today, but I'm telling you, Ndidi looked like Ndidi of 2019 today.
It was everywhere. Immense.
Like, I was even like, man, Didi, I didn't even know you still had the physical capabilities. So speaking of his teammates and not to ramble, I think at this present point in time, it's unfortunate, but we have to just say, you know what, Kelechi, good luck. We wish you all the best. We should not be speaking about him in national team discussions. Let's be honest. Even in AFCON, he was a big part player. Yes, we thank you for what you did last year when you scored an equalizer for us against Lesotho. But I mean, it's bloody Lesotho. Excuse my French. So go back and resurrect your career. Let's see what you can do in January. But as far as our team, we have enough people in the pool to not be calling him off.
Okay. Olu, I'll ask you one more question before I get to X code because I know we have some other people that are waiting to chip in. And Olu, I'll ask you about the Super Eagles and this FIFA ranking. So I was pointing out, at the start of the year, we were ranked 42nd. The year is not done yet, but with one more updates coming before the end of the year, we are not going to play between now and then. So I'm not really anticipating us going up because we're not going to play any match. With one more ranking before the year ends, we are probably going to finish 40, 44, 46, somewhere in that range. What's your reaction to this?
I mean, like, it's something that really, 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 really bothers me. I can't even lie to you. Like, I think sometimes when I even speak about it, I almost feel like, am I doing too much? But the main reason why, look, World rankings does not matter too much to teams when they are efficiently running their national teams. Teams in the top 10 of the world ranking, they care about it, but they don't care that much, except if they win the World Cup or the Euros and they go to first or Copa. Because it's just an indication. If you stay in the top 10, it shows that you're doing what you need to do. The only time I've seen a top national team worried about their world ranking is Germany at the moment because they've been lurking between 13th and 20th for the past 2 years, which is very un-German like because that's a clear indication that shows that your progress has gone from no progress to absolutely shutting down. Now, us that were in Africa and Asia, we don't have those luxuries. Even America, the USA and Mexico constantly make sure they're in the top 20 of the world rankings for a reason. Apart from what Smith Layi mentioned about your rankings and your seedings, because now we'll be claiming that we're capable, we have a good team. We'll now go to some of these tournaments. By the time they put us in pot three, now we'll be complaining that a whole Nigeria. But why does it happen? It's based on your performances. By and large, the biggest teams in football they smack small boys all the time. And unfortunately, 2024 showed us that Nigeria ability to smack small boys is the same as our ability to smack big boys. We give everybody same chance. Yes, we might be Peter Pan. We steal from the rich, give to the poor. We'll go to AFCON, we'll play our mates, we'll still show them shaggy. But then when you look at, playing teams like Benin Republic, ranked 92nd in the world, or Rwanda ranked 124th. I mean, like one thing I like about the world ranking is also objective. It's based on simple mathematics. It's based on the level of your opponent and the game that you're playing. You lose to Rwanda, you draw with Benin Republic, you're automatically marked down. Now, the one thing I want to add here is we also have to think about this effect on our players. Nigerians love the Premier League. We watch Premier League the most. Let's be honest, when you look at the caliber of our players in Syria and the teams they're playing for compared to the Premier League, you have to say that, yes, we thank God that Olaino right now is the outlier. In fact, if they did a team of the season right now, he would probably win it, in my opinion. He would probably be in the team of the season. But we don't have players playing for the bigger teams in England. And what people don't realize is because of the whole work permit situation, players get automatic work permits if they're from a country that is in the top 50 world rankings at all times. Thankfully, despite our incompetence with the NFF, we have not dropped under 50 in a long, long time. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. But for us to be 44, that means we are closer to 50 than 20. Super Eagles. And the worst part is we are literally how many months away from just playing in the AFCON final. Yes, you can say that was 10 months ago, but shouldn't you be showing progression signs rather than dipping down? Apart from AFCON, what games have we won? Apart from that Benin 3-0 that they abused me after my prediction, what else have we seen? Since Pesero stepped down between Finidi and Co, even the games against Libya is Fisayo Bashiru would have scored in the last 10 minutes. And then CAF gave us walkover 3-0. That's what helped us look quite nice in that group. So honestly, it's just a shame that we haven't seen the progression. That's my saddest part. But the positive I would still say is we've still seen a lot of our players progress in terms of their club sides, and we know that the talent pool is still widening. We watched Nathan Teller score the winner for Bayer Leverkusen tonight against Bayern Munich. For some reason, they will not call him up into the national team, but you will see some interesting selections there. Iheanacho will be called up when he has played no games to play right winger, and even made to start the games at right winger. One Nathan Teller is sitting there in Germany. So we will always come back to the federation and the administration of our teams. But it's just a shame to see the world rankings drop so much. But I hope it's also a warning shot and a reminder. I don't know how much the NFF mentioned these things to the players or if they think about it. But if any sensible coach is coming in, I mean, I also agree with Smith Layi that we should change our coach because Eguavon has shown us we've seen enough in these last 3 months. Remove sentiments. I don't understand what we have to be objective here. But hopefully we can see somebody come in and, maximize the talents from these guys. And at the end of the day, we have to bring the administration because Pesero resigned in February. It's them that dilly-dallied, hired Finidi. After Finidi, they dilly-dally, Eguavon, Labadia. So I'm sorry, it's just sheer incompetence. And we're the ones paying the price for it. But thankfully, as I've said in some of my episodes, we don't have to think about Super Eagles till March. So God bless them. We will revisit in March. And let me go and watch Arsenal and us getting back on track for the
All
title
right.
race.
All right. Thank you very much, Olu, man. Always nice to hear from you. Always nice to get those contributions. I would have loved to keep you on, but we have other people waiting, so I just want to
No
get
worries
them,
at all. Thanks for
get
having
them
me,
on
guys.
as well. All right. Thank you very much, Olu.
Take it easy.
Okay, that was Olu of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. Always has insightful opinions, and very passionate guy as well when talking about Nigerian football. But yes, we'll wrap up in the next 10 minutes. So let's no, sorry, 5 minutes, not 10. Or we have only 5 minutes left. So yes, X code, you have 2 minutes. Yes, welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Uh,
Yes, good evening.
good evening, good evening, my guys. Smith Layi, my
All
man.
right. Yeah, good evening.
Good
Yeah.
The last guy, Olu, has spoken my mind about everything concerning Nigeria. I like Eguavon for what he has done for Nigeria. You understand? I never watched the man play. All I saw is YouTube videos and stories from older folks about what he has done. But as a coach, mm-mm, mbano, no way. He's not. He's not. Honestly. And the problem with Nigerian football, majorly, is not even corruption. That's not even the problem. Without the major problem is just sentiments. Because you see someone like Iheanacho, just like you said, Nathan Teller, you play him at right wing. This guy will be ineffective for the whole game or 45 minutes. You play players, you pick someone like um Tolu. I'm a big advocate of that guy. He's not there. He's not there as per backup. So we need our best legs. And it's sentiments that keep killing us. Even Super Falcons. You keep killing you call all these Nasara Amazon players. I don't know why we like to do this kind of thing. Why we like to use sentiments in our football. It kills us. It kills us. I wish let me just leave. Let everybody talk. Because me, if I want to rant, I'll rant too. So
All right.
let everybody
Thank
talk.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, X
All
code.
right. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Coach. Thank you.
Hubwary, welcome. Final caller for tonight.
Why do you bring this man here?
I greet you all. You guys have already said it. I think the first speaker has already explained everything. My question is, when are they going to sack Igbazon? Why are they keeping him there? That's another question. Two, concerning about Iheanacho, if I were him, let him leave the floor before the dance will catch him. Let him just go. It's not working. It's not working. He has used to his limitations. It's not working. If he's thinking that the way he's behaving, you know, the way, yeah, 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 the way he's playing in 2017, that is the way he's going to play. It's not going to work. That's my own thing. For me, let him not even go for the AFCON. Let him just drop him. That's the best thing. And another thing is this: we keep on shouting about the ranking. He's going to reach 55. That one, sure, he's going to reach 55. 40 is just more. Definitely, there's no way that Ghana is not going to win us. Yeah, there's no way. Is it Iwavo is going to coach them? It's the same thing. They know him. They know his tactics. They know what he's going to bring to the table. So there's nothing. He's going to reach 55. Yeah. The administrators, they are not doing anything. They're just there. They don't have the passion to help. Now, There was a time that you would say that the Super Eagles is going to play. Everybody is rushing to go and watch. Look at our local league. Everything is nonsense. Nonsense. For me, I wish them all the best. If they like, let them stay there. Niger is coming up. Somalia is going up. We'll be going down. I don't want a situation whereby Lukman will be regretting why is he playing for Nigeria. Other people coming up will be regretting why are they playing for Nigeria because the administrators are not doing something that will motivate the players to play very well. The only thing just to carry big girl and move around. Hey, Lukman, how are you? Hey, how are you? They don't even act professionally. I wish them all the best. For me, I rest my case. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Humble Henry. Always passionate as well whenever he's talking. Humble Henry. Nice to hear from you. I wish we had more time. I know that we have cut Humble Henry a little bit short. But that's all the time we have for tonight. It is already, I think it is 1 a.m. for those of you that are watching from Nigeria. So I want to say thank you to everyone that has stayed with us throughout. Thank you for tuning in. It's always nice to engage with you guys. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel already, please subscribe now. Search at Eagle Tracker NG on YouTube, or you can also just type Eagle Tracker and you'll see our logo, our channel pop up. Make sure you subscribe, engage with us. Let us know what you want us to discuss. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you have anything that you just want to mention. I'm always in the comments. I'm always engaging. I'm always replying to you guys. We appreciate it. Again, if you're on any other social media platform that's not YouTube, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you tune in every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. I know that some people might be confused because the time has changed a little bit. Because of winter, because of daylight savings, the clock in Canada has gone back. The clock in the UK has also changed. So now we will be on every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That is 11 p.m. West African time. So 5 p.m. Eastern time if you are in North America, 11 p.m. West African time if you are in Nigeria. That's when we'll be coming on. So please make sure you let people know and you join us every week for these conversations. Without you, these conversations will not make sense. So we need you guys on board engaging with us as always. That's pretty much it. If you'd like to support the channel, you can always leave a super chat. You can always support the channel by becoming a member on our YouTube. You can always leave a super chat to leave some money, and you can also shop Nigerian football merchandise now on eaglestrackershop.com. T-shirts, hoodies, phone cases, and so much more. Smith Layi, final word from you before we wrap up for tonight.
Yeah, I just want to another wonderful episode, another fantastic episode. Fantastic. You guys just keep on sharing the video. That's the most important thing, and we promise to assure to give you the best. I forgot to talk about Siri Desas. But maybe next time I will talk about him. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They've been out of. But I just wish our players the best of luck. Boniface, please stay safe. That's the most important thing. We love you from Nigeria. We want you to stay safe. That's the most important thing. Thank you guys too. Thank you the listeners too for sticking with us for so long.
Yes, thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to all the footballers. Anyone we discussed, if something offended you, take heart. It's nothing personal. Until next time, my name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi.
This is the Naija FC Podcast.